Coming up on the show today, we're bringing back one of our favorite games, Contenders or Pretenders. All right, welcome back to another episode of Talking Sports. I'm your co-host Andrew Volkman, and I got my co-host right next to me, figuratively.
Miles Shield. I hope you guys are having a great summer because summer's about to end.
Yeah, school is right around the corner for both me and Miles. It's a terrifying thing to think about, Miles. At least in my opinion, but I bet you share that. Anyways, we're gonna have. It's been a little while. It's been a couple weeks since we had an episode. I think it was beginning of August was our last episode. I know it's another virtual, but it's the only way we can make things work. But anyways, got a great show on hand for you guys today. We got a little bit of a now segment to get us rolling. We have a return of one of our favorite segments and one of our favorite games we like to play on Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. So stay tuned for more. A lot of NFL to be coming in this episode of Talking Sports. We're right around the start of the NFL regular season. I know Miles is excited, right, Miles?
Absolutely.
And I am also very excited as well. Plus, MLB playoffs are right around the corner. So, a lot of good sports coming our way very, very quickly. But beginning with the now segment, we have the Freedom 250 Grand Prix in Washington, D.C., the NTT IndyCar race that went on earlier today. Kyle Kirkwood for Andretti Global in the number 27 Honda took the victory. The American dominated the entire way in Washington, D.C. It was a cool race, cool venue on the streets of the National Mall. I don't know, Miles, if you actually got to see any of it today, but I watched a little sliver of it. But Trump was there. His wife, the First Lady, was there as well. It was awesome. All of Andretti was inside the top five with Will Power and Marcus Ericsson in the 28 and the 26. Kirkwood did hold off the 7 of Christian Lundgaard for Arrow McLaren. So tight battle there between Lundgaard and Kirkwood. So congratulations to the 27 team of Kyle Kirkwood and Andretti for picking up the win in Washington, D.C. The Andretti family, well known throughout the entire racing industry, especially here in America. So, Miles, you have anything to say on the race today?
No, I think you covered it.
All right, awesome. Now we got to move over to some news out of the NFL. Some injuries have been hitting many NFL teams, pretty much all of them actually, throughout the beginning of the preseason. Today, we learned that Ashton Genty, the star young running back for the Las Vegas Raiders, was helped off the field with an apparent knee injury. Miles, you have anything else on what you may know about Ashton Genty and his injury?
We just hope it's not too serious. Obviously, the Raiders drafted in the 4th round, I believe, Arkansas running back Mike Washington Jr. And he's good, but he is very raw potential, and he's definitely not ready to carry a bulk of the load for that Raiders team. So losing Ashton Genty, who I believe is prime for a breakout year because he did underperform a little bit. He just had an awful team. I think the Raiders are better than they were last year. They have a quarterback in Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza. Most likely Kirk Cousins will be their starter. So I'm hoping for the Raiders' sake and for Ashton Genty's sake that he is okay, and this is a little tiny injury that will go away within the next 2 weeks.
Hopefully as well, because, again, NFL regular season right around the corner begins in 2 weeks, September 9th. Not too far away. The other injury, especially in the AFC West, with the Los Angeles Chargers, who continue to not take any or catch any breaks on their offensive line. Tyler Badaz, I hope I'm saying that name right. Miles, you can correct me if I'm not. But their starting center, who was paid $30 million by the Chargers, is out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL during a joint practice earlier this week. Terrible news for the Chargers, who all of last year suffered immensely without two of their best offensive linemen, Rashawn Slater being one of them. And once again, the Chargers' offensive line cannot stay healthy. So, Miles, what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Chargers' offensive line on paper should be so good, but they are never on the field at the same time. And the Chargers have their rookie Slaughter
Jake Slaughter.
coming up,
Jake Slaughter.
who Yes, who they just got, and knee injuries have been in his history too, and he's very raw potential, and I don't know if he's ready. So this is a huge loss for this team, especially. I mean, it's heartbreaking for us. Former Badgers center Tyler Bida, Bidas.
I don't know.
Guys, I've butchered so many names on this show, but he was cut by the Commanders in the offseason. Chargers picked him up. He was looking to have very, very good year with the Chargers. Big disappointment. Hopefully, the Chargers can rebound.
Yeah, again, Herbert needs all the protection he can, especially with some of the things that have been surrounding him and the team as of late. If you're unaware of what I'm speaking of, I bet if you search up Justin Herbert on the internet, you'll find out what I'm talking about. And Miles probably already knows what I'm talking about. Do you? I hope.
Are we talking about his wife or his
Yes, I
Madison Beer?
yes I am. Okay. Anyways, we'll move on. Huge injury nonetheless for both the Raiders and the Chargers. Sorry, I don't know what I was doing there. Anyways, the last bit of NFL news in the now segment here is surrounding a Browns tight end, Daquan Wright. I hope I'm pronouncing that first name correctly, at least. I hope. Anyways, we got news that the Browns are cutting him today, and he has plans to return to LSU to play college football, according to his agent, later on this fall. This will be, I believe, according to Miles, the first NFL player to return to college and play actively for a college team. So we've been seeing this in the NBA and college basketball over the last couple months. We're getting reports that former professional or former players that were signed to NBA teams or were drafted by NBA teams going back to college and playing for like Baylor. I think there was a former Hornets player that played overseas but is now going back to college to play basketball at Baylor. So we've seen that as of late. But Miles, what do you have to say on this?
I definitely think it's interesting because this is a guy who's already been on two NFL teams. He signed with the Bills, I believe, was waived by them as undrafted rookie. The Browns picked up his contract or picked him up off waivers, and he's from Ole Miss, so he's going to Lane Kiffin. So he's going back to Lane Kiffin, but he's following him to LSU. So he will be playing for a different college than he's played for before. And this is interesting. I really don't like it. I think once you're out, you should be out permanently, out of college football. But you know what? Not our rules, and he's the first guy to do it. I'm sure there will be many more, but I'm definitely interested to see if this has any effect on college football.
Yeah, again, like you said, first possibly of many, in my opinion, especially after what we saw with several players going back to college in the NBA or professional basketball side of things. But anyways, let's move on now from the now segment and bringing back one of our favorite segments on the show, Shield Spicy Situation.
Now it's time for Shield Spicy Situation.
And we are back with Shield Spicy Situations. I am so hyped to have this segment be back. Haven't had it in a while. Now, today's Shield Spicy Situation is Deshaun Watson is the most hated NFL quarterback in the history of football. All right, this may not sound like the craziest hot take, but let's just defend this answer because you got to think there are some hated quarterbacks. I mean, think about Jamarcus Russell. I mean, one of the greatest busts in NFL history over there at the Raiders. Awful work ethic, awful just play on the field. And then you may think Michael Vick, right? He got arrested. He got in trouble with dog fighting. There's so many other guys who are just hated throughout the league. But Deshaun Watson deserves the most hate. Now, for those of you who don't know who Deshaun Watson is, and if you don't know who Deshaun Watson is, you're probably not listening to our show because you probably don't care about sports. But Deshaun Watson, he was drafted by the Houston Texans. He was drafted 12th overall in 2017. and he was supposed to be very, very good. Drafted him out of Clemson. He did. He played very good football for Texans, who are just an awful team. David Carr, he knows what I'm talking about when I talk about how bad the Texans are. And
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson really started to turn that around when it was the big three with Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and J.J. Watt down there in Houston. Now, Deshaun Watson then faced allegations from 24 women over sexual misconduct and sexual assault. That is not good. 24, that's 24 women. He was out of the league for 2 years. He did not play a single game. Then the Browns say, hey, we'll trade for Deshaun Watson. They proceed to trade for Deshaun Watson, give him a, $230-something million fully guaranteed contract.
Something like that.
It is the worst contract ever given to any player in the league, fully guaranteed for a guy who didn't play a game for 2 years. He then comes into Cleveland, which is another historically awful team, and he sucks. I mean, come on. His first year, he passed for 1,000 yards, 1,102 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Second year, pretty much the exact same thing, 1 less interception. And then the next year, same thing, less touchdowns. Awful, absolutely awful. He then proceeds to tear his Achilles. All right, he tears his Achilles at home. And I'm going to tell you this. He was cheered off that field at home when he got hurt in Cleveland. That tells you what they think of him. And then this man had the audacity to go out in an interview and call out the fans for being disrespectful. Are you kidding me? This man, and he said this, that he believes the Cleveland Browns fans are not booing him for his play. They are booing him for personal reasons, and he feels disrespected. Now, let's talk about his play. In his second preseason game back from the Achilles injury, he went 5 of 12 for 35 yards and an interception during 4 second-half drives. So that's the last 2 games in the second half, 5 of 12, 35 yards and an interception. That is awful. So, yes, they booed him for that. But then they also booed him because how much they hate him. I'm sorry. You need to look in the mirror if you're getting booed at your home field. If you're getting cheered on, and cheered against when you tear your Achilles, okay? And then to wrap off this awful interview he has, which he's getting clowned for, he says he has no regrets in life.
Bro.
24 women. 24 women. Only 2 of those went to court because the other 22 he paid off. I mean, guilty, hated, awful. He's not good anymore. He's 30 years old, and he sucks. They got rid of Baker Mayfield, a man with the most electricity, a man who represented the Browns and brought them out of their dark ages, and a man who put everything on the line for a team, brought them to the playoffs. They got rid of Baker for this man. I'm sorry. Worst move in the history of NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you kind of deviated there about from Deshaun Watson, but yeah, the facts speak for themselves, Miles. When we're talking about Deshaun Watson, I was gonna say something, but frankly, I don't remember what they are, and I don't think there needs to be much else said because again, stats don't lie. He's not very good anymore. Again, this was a guy that went from throwing 4,000 yards in 2020 and 2018 with the Texans to throwing only 1,000 yards in 3 straight years with the Browns and then tearing his Achilles. Again, if you're getting cheered by your home fans for tearing your Achilles, I mean, that's got to tell you something about what people think about you. And if you are too proud to, look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm a bit of a douchebag, I don't know what else to tell you, Deshaun Watson. I know you're not listening, and yeah, I mean, if you're getting called out by us on this show, you gotta be some kind of diabolical person, and I don't think there's any doubt in the world, Miles, that Deshaun Watson is that diabolical.
It's awful. It truly is. I mean, think about it. 2020, as you mentioned, his last season as a Texan, he threw 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with he almost had 5,000 yards as well.
Yeah,
And he threw it away. And now he is the most hated, arguably the most hated player in NFL history. History. I'm telling you right now. Anybody who has heard his story should absolutely hate him. And the Browns are in a tough position with all the guaranteed money. I have no idea why he is still on that team, why he is still in the NFL.
yeah,
I can't tell you. Or can we talk about the fact that people who have bet on games, who was it? Who was it? Was it Calvin Ridley who
yeah.
was betting on games or Julio Jones or something
I think it was
who
Calvin
got
Ridley.
a full season suspension? I want to talk to you. Deshaun Watson got 11 games. 11-game suspension. That's not a full season with a $5 million fine, and then he got paid 200 something $1 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, look at Justin Tucker. Don't need to say what he did, but yeah, Justin Tucker isn't in the league anymore. Deshaun Watson should be getting the same treatment. When no one feels sorry for you when you tear your Achilles or are playing bad and getting all the hate that's completely deserved, that says a lot about you as a player and as a person, especially. So I don't know what else to say, Miles, other than what you said and what other people have said, because this has been something that's been talked about for what is the year 2026? I don't know, over half a decade now. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be much more said other than the comments that he made in this last interview are crazy. They're crazy on other levels. I mean, freaking Drew Aller in the first preseason game for the Steelers he played against the Packers played better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Drew Aller, yeah, that guy. And no disrespect to Drew Aller, I think he's actually a really good quarterback. But yeah, when you have a rookie outplaying you as a what a 8-year veteran, 9-year veteran in the NFL, yeah, I don't. You just gotta look in the mirror. Look at this fact. Look at the facts. Look in the mirror. Look at everything you can possibly say to or see to just make your own opinion, and it's not even close. But yeah, I think we'll move on from this. There's already been enough said about it. I think talking about Deshaun Watson, or at least staying in the NFL realm, is perfect. For the final segment of today's show, Miles, we're bringing back one of our favorite games we like to play on here. Hopefully to lighten the mood a little bit because we just spent a whole lot of time yelling. We're bringing back NFL contenders or pretenders, baby. If you remember from last year or the last NFL season, this was something that we, brought out a lot when we were talking about getting ready for the playoffs and getting ready for the end of the season. Like we did this, I believe, halfway through the NFL season last year. Did it at the end of the regular season, looking at all the playoff teams. Now we get to do it at the beginning of the season, before it has even started, and look at every single team, at least that's competitive, around the league, and see if they are true Super Bowl contenders. So, how this is going to work, I'm going to list a team, and Miles will say what he has to say about that team, whether they are a contender or a pretender. So, Miles, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and begin in the AFC with the AFC East and the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. The Bills are absolutely contenders. I mean, they just got better. All right. You talk about DJ Moore. They traded a second-round pick for him from the Bears, and he's looked amazing in the little preseason we've seen. He's looking like he is on track to have a 1,000-yard receiving season. He's looking beautiful out there in Buffalo. Him and Josh Allen. We're giving Josh Allen a true number one receiver. And, I mean, when DJ Moore first came to Chicago, he was electric. Like him and Justin Fields really started to create something magical before they shipped off Justin Fields to Pittsburgh. But I am really really excited to see what happens with this Bills team. James Cook also just every year looking amazing. Josh Allen coming off of what MVP,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, MVP,
Oh no,
MVP
no, it
seat.
was Stafford. Stafford won MVP. Sorry.
Stafford.
He,
Oh, so 2 years ago he was
yeah,
MVP, and he's looked good. New head coach, new defensive coordinator, and Jim Leonard. Woo!
yeah,
So I think this Bills team has the best chance they've had in a while.
yeah. I mean, when you're led by Josh Allen, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL right now, you're probably a contender at bare minimum. What about their division rival, the New England Patriots?
I'm going to say contender. Now, are we saying contender as in Super Bowl winner or playoffs?
I think, yeah, we'll say contender in terms of competing for the Super Bowl.
I am gonna go hot take then. I'm gonna
Oh,
go pretender.
wow, really?
Because I don't see them repeating what they did last year. Last year it was definitely a surprise. Mike Vrabel's first year there. Drake May had a shocking season. I don't see Drake May performing the same way he did, and with all the turmoil that's going on with Mike Vrabel, I think they underperform a little bit. I think maybe the AJ Brown Romeo Dobbs experiment doesn't work out. Now, that's my opinion. Could that be completely different? I can see a world where AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs both have really big season. I could see, AJ Brown having leading the league in yards and Romeo Dobbs leading the league in touchdowns. But in my mind, I see them taking a little step back before they can take a big leap forward.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you're right in saying there's going to be probably some regression, but I think it's hard to say there will be a lot to where they aren't contenders when you add two very solid wide receivers with AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs to that offense, which, in my opinion, lacked a number one wide receiver over in New England. We'll stick in the AFC for a little while longer. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy?
Oh, this one's hard. This one's hard because I'm in my mind. I'm going over like, okay, Michael Pittman as a number two receiver. That is beautiful. He can be the best number two receiver, one of the best number two receivers in the league. DK, I think he could be super good too, but age is just such a factor in this team. And Rodgers being old, DK getting on the older side. Then you have on defensive side TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, guys like that who are just aging. I don't know. This is a puzzler because then you bring in Mike McCarthy too, and that's a great move. So I'm gonna go with the healthy Steelers. That is a contender. I
Wow.
think they're contenders. Now I can see just one injury completely derails this team. They lose anyone is maybe a top seven player on that team. They're done. They're pretenders. But with the team they have right now on paper, they are contenders.
Really, I think it's going to be very tough for them to contend, especially with the very competitive division they play in and a potentially very competitive AFC. Again, getting old. Cameron Hayward's going to be very old on that D line. TJ Watt's getting older. Alex Highsmith is going to be in another year in the league. Jalen Ramsey on the secondary. I think he's injured actually right now. He's getting older. Rogers, Metcalf. Uh, yeah, I think when you say they're one injury away from being pretenders, I think that's enough for me to say that they're not far enough in the contender range to outweigh the injury concerns. So I'm going pretenders with the Steelers there, but I don't know. Maybe the Rodgers McCarthy matchup or duo will create some chaos in the AFC North. We'll go with the other two AFC North, at least the other two competitive AFC North teams, the Ravens and the Bengals, because we just talked about how idiotic the Browns are for bringing in Deshaun Watson, but that doesn't really matter right now. What about the Ravens and the Bengals?
Oh, this is hard. I am going to say that they are both pretenders.
Really?
I do believe they're both pretenders. Yes, the Ravens bring in Jesse Minter, who, by the way, is a defensive based coach. They brought in Trey Hendrickson. I do think their defense will take a big step up. I think they are the closest to their, dynasty type defense they have with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all of them. I think they're the closest they've ever been to having that kind of defense with the defense they have. But I can see Derrick Henry maybe taking a little step back. We've been talking about Derrick Henry possibly regressing for the last, 6 years? And he hasn't. So I could be completely wrong. But he can't continue this forever. And Lamar, injury issues, I'm not sure if Lamar's got it in him. They lost Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews has definitely taken steps down. I don't think this team is in the window anymore to win the Super Bowl. And then for the Bengals, they just haven't been it, right? Their defense, I don't think their defense got any better with Trey Hendrickson losing or leaving. I think their offense is the exact same as it was. Not a great offensive line. You still have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. You still have Chase Brown, who I think is a average running back. And then you have Joe Burrow, who healthy Joe Burrow can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But Joe Burrow has not consistently stayed healthy enough. And that I blame it fully on his offensive line.
Yeah. I don't have much to add there, but yeah, I'm surprised to
Yeah.
hear you say Ravens and Bengals not being contenders and the Steelers are. I don't know about that. I really don't know.
I think we're gonna watch Zach Taylor's last season as the Bengals head coach.
We've been saying, yeah, we could, but again, we've been saying that for I don't know three multiple years at this point now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move over to the AFC West. Chargers, Chiefs, or Broncos? Which of those teams are contenders?
I I oh I think the Chargers are looking very, very good. I think Justin Herbert's about to have the best year of his career with Mike McDaniel as his offensive coordinator. I'm expecting a huge year from him.
Even losing Tyler Badaz or
I
Biadasz?
I I still think that Justin Herbert will have the best year of his career. And then on the flip side, the Broncos, I think they're just an all around better team than the Chargers. They're just way better built. They have a better offensive line. They have better running backs, better receivers with the add on of Jalen Waddle. Their defense looks really good. Bo Nix coming off injury. Based on the preseason game, he looked fine. I think the Broncos are going to be tough to beat. So I think both Chargers Broncos are contenders. Chiefs. I think this is the year that we officially see the end of the era of the Chiefs.
Hmm. More, more average and not, elite, probably.
I think so, and I think Kenneth Walker will be a big factor in that offense. But I also think he'll be a big bridge because I think we are going to see a decline of Patrick Mahomes' play.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm not completely writing off the Chiefs yet, especially when they get Matt Nagy out of the building and bring back Eric Bieniemy, especially to pilot that offense. It's going to take Mahomes a couple weeks, and especially with having a third place schedule, I don't hate the Chiefs' chances at being competitive to some level at least. So we'll have to wait and see. We have to actually watch them play football, but I don't know. I'm not hating the Chiefs' chances. I think that AFC West is going to be extremely competitive with not just the Chargers and Broncos, but I think you can throw the Chiefs in there as well. Still, can't count them out at all. Let's go over to the AFC South now. We'll start with the Houston Texans.
Ooh, the Texans. This has been the topic of conversation for a lot of analysts around the league into what CJ Stroud is going to do this year. but he got a new haircut. He's rocking a beard.
Huh.
This team's looking good. Give me the Texans are contenders this
Mm.
year. I think CJ Stroud has a bounce back year. I'm very excited to see this team. I'm excited to see David Montgomery take over, and they have a solid number one running back, not a guy like Nick Chubb, who's very inconsistent. Having Tank Dell come back is a very exciting storyline. I mean, 2 years ago, this guy came out of nowhere. It was making insane catches and playing really good ball before he absolutely murdered his leg.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see a very good year from D'Amico Ryan, CJ Stroud, and that entire Texans team.
I share that opinion. I think their defense is going to lead the way more than their offense, like we saw last year. But yeah, I think Texans are firmly still contenders, if especially if that defense continues to absolutely shove like they have in recent years. The other two AFC South teams I want to focus on are the Colts and Jaguars because I think these are two very interesting teams in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Colts side of it, I think they're going to be I think they're going to be pretenders. I still think they'll be good. I still think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a top five running back in this league. But the loss of Michael Pittman, I'm not sure Alec Pierce can carry the load. And then Daniel Jones, it's hard to bet on Daniel Jones when he's had one good year and so many bad years. So I'm not ready to put all my chips on Daniel Jones, but I still think they will be a good team, just not contending for a Super Bowl. And then for the Jaguars, I think I could see them contending to be a big team. And I think we're going to really start questioning Trevor Lawrence if he does not have a good year.
I'm not sure though. I think the Jaguars are not going to be as good this year. They got a tougher schedule now that they won the division last year. I really have serious questions about their offensive line and how healthy it's going to be this year, and like just performance even as well. And that defense, I'm not extremely confident as well. I think it's not an elite group. Pair that with an offense that really picked up steam last year at the end of the year, but I'm not sure they'll be able to fire out of the gate with that same offense, especially when again they have a tougher schedule. They have a first place team schedule. When I don't think that this Jacksonville Jaguars team is quite ready to play at that level of a first place team just yet, but that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on now to the NFC. We'll start in the NFC East. We'll start with the Dallas Cowboys, our good friends, the Cowboys.
Oh gosh. Um, I'm going to say contenders just because George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, that is such a dynamic duo. Dak Prescott, I always bet against him. He always proves me wrong. He's going to be good. Javante Williams has looked very good. And then Von Miller is my big add-on. I
Yeah.
think people are still counting on Von Miller, and Von Miller is still a game changer, in my opinion. And I think he's going to add a different element to this defense. Now, he's no Micah Parsons anymore, but he is still he can be a play wrecker, and I'm very excited to see what he can do with the Cowboys. So I'm going to say they're contenders.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I'm willing to bet against the Dallas Cowboys defense, even though they did add Quinnen Williams last year and then they just added Von Miller, they added Caleb Downs. But I'm willing to bet that, the Cowboys defense, I still don't think it's going to be anything special. I think that's, a very solid group, but they play in a competitive division. They got to play the Eagles, they got to play the 49ers, they got to play the Texans this year. I'm willing to say that as good as their offense is, I don't think their defense is going to be able to win them games and hold them off. Like as good as their offense is, again, I'm not confident they'll win many shootouts. Um, so I'm willing to bet against the Cowboys here and say they're pretenders, but that might just be me. What about the Eagles, the Cowboys' rival?
Absolutely contenders. You get a big problem, a big headache out with A.J. Brown. You're definitely going to see a lot more passes go to Devontae Smith. And Mekhi Lemon, who they drafted, is going to be a big part. So they have two kind of small receivers which will be interesting to see. But then also you bring in Sean Mannion, who I really loved on that Packers staff. He was our quarterbacks coach, I believe, and he's young, he's exciting. I was really hoping the Packers would fire the offensive coordinator Adam Stenovich and hire Sean Mannion because I really think highly of him, and I think he will go back to giving Saquon 250 carries for the year. So I'm definitely going to be interested to see what he does, but I think Saquon's going to have a big bounce back year, and they're gonna be passing a lot less with Jalen Hurts and running the ball a lot more. So I think they're contenders.
Yeah, I agree. Do you see in the NFC East? Do you see the Giants or the Commanders making some noise as well?
Ooh, this is hard. I'm going to go Commanders pretenders just because of injury issues. Jaden Daniels, I'm rooting for him to be good because I think he's very good for the NFL. He's a very Lamar Jackson type quarterback. But that team adding Stephon Diggs, I don't think it moves the needle a ton. I think it's exciting, and I will watch Commanders games, but I just don't think they have the team to do it. I think they'll be better than last year, but they're not Super Bowl contenders in my eyes. Giants, I don't even think they're pretenders, and I don't think they're contenders. But I do think they're going to take a step in the right direction. I think Jackson Dart's going to have a very good year. I think Cam Scadaboo's going to have a very good year. Malik Neighbors stays healthy. Isaiah Likely, John Harbaugh, like this could be the New England Patriots
Hmm.
of last year. So you know what? I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go contender. I
Wow.
just talked myself into it
Yeah.
because I think all healthy and as young. This is a young team that has the pieces to go the distance.
Hmm. I'm actually no. I'm just gonna be quiet. I don't want to hate on the Giants too much. Because I think they got a lot of fun pieces, but I'm not sure about their secondary and again, if they'll be able to stay healthy, that's my one concern. But I'm not. I'm gonna be quiet. I don't want to be too much of a hater on the Giants because I think they're really exciting. Let's go to our home division, the NFC North. Let's start off with our good friends, the Chicago Bears.
Oh gosh, I hate them. Um, my my professional opinion, unbiased, pretenders.
Real? What? I'm not sure about one. I'm not sure about that. But two, really? Wow, that's crazy. What? What? Explain, please.
They're guaranteed. I'm gonna say guaranteed 5 losses, possibly even 6. I think they have a relatively easy schedule, in my opinion, and I really don't like them, and I really hate them. And Caleb Williams should not be the cover of Madden, and that is my unbiased opinion.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on. Let's. I'm gonna stick with my theme of not being too hateful, especially on the Bears. What about the Lions? What about the Lions?
Ooh, give me contenders. Bounce
Mm-hmm.
back year. Jameer Gibbs, no, running back number one, no splitting reps. I think that's going to be great. I'm actually really excited. I think Sam Laporte is going to have a bounce back year. Jared Goff have a very, very good year. Dan Campbell, I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. Give me contenders for the Detroit Lions.
Yep. I'll second that opinion. We'll go ahead and talk about our team, the Green Bay Packers.
Absolute contenders. I do think they're contenders. I will never bet against the Packers, no matter what. But I think Jordan Love could have a very good year. The guy to watch for me is Matthew Golden. I think he's going to break out and have one of the top. I think he'll be a top 10 receiver in this league this
Wow.
year, and I think he's gonna. I think, in my opinion, get close to 1,000 yards.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that's out of the realm of possibility. Definitely stretching on the 1,000 yards thing, but I'm it could happen. It could definitely happen. And what about our friends to the west, the Minnesota Vikings?
Oh, oh, this is hard because we all didn't think anything would become of them. when Sam Darnold rolled around there and he completely changed it. Give Kevin O'Connell a guy like Kyler Murray, and I think they're going to be contenders. I
Really?
think this team will beat the Chicago Bears at least once. I think this team will beat uh, some big names at least once.
Hmm.
That's my opinion.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see who makes it into the playoffs out of the NFC because it is just absolutely loaded, and someone's got to make it from the NFC South, which we'll talk about now. And in my opinion, Miles, I don't view any of the NFC South teams as actual contenders. I don't see any of these teams finishing with a winning record, but I'm interested to see what you hear what you say at least.
I think the best team in that division is the New Orleans Saints. And
Really?
that may be crazy to say, but I'm expecting a big year from Tyler Shuck. Jordan Tyson. I'm really hoping he's going to be a good. I could see him being like a Territorial McMillan type season.
If he stays healthy.
Uh, what?
If he stays healthy, that's the only question because he did get hurt.
If he stays healthy, yes, I think he has a Territorial McMillan season. Chris Olave, if he stays healthy, big season. Travis Etienne Jr. or Achan, sorry. I think he's going to have a very good year with the Saints. Kamara is going to be injured, and I just think he's going to sort of get phased out of that Saints team. I think there's too much turmoil right now in Tampa Bay. I'm a little bit worried with them. I think the Panthers will continue to take a step in the right direction, but I think it's going to be small steps. And I think the Falcons have two unreliable quarterbacks. So I'm going to go with Saints being the winner of that division.
Yeah, no spoilers for the the predictions episode that might be coming soon. Wink, wink. I don't know if I agree with the Saints. I don't agree with the Panthers 100%. Panthers got like their team's good. They definitely helped out their defense, but their secondary, in my opinion, still not very good. I got questions about their offensive line still, and if Bryce Young can take that next step forward. And again, they're a team that won their division. They're gonna have. Whoa, what the heck is going on? Sorry. They also are going to have a very difficult schedule because they won their division last year. And I don't know if they win many games. Like, I'm going to say right now, I only have them winning 4 games next year or this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, we'll move on now to the NFC West, the last division. We'll start with the one team that I think can really make some noise, the Arizona Cardinals. Miles, what do you think?
Absolutely. But I don't think they make the kind of noise you're thinking. I don't think they're contenders. I don't think they're pretenders. I think they have real expectations of a good season. But I think Carson Beck takes over after a few weeks of just awful quarterback play from Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew. And I think he shows that he could possibly be somebody this franchise can lean on.
Yeah, he did play good in the Hall of Fame game. I'll say that. So, yeah, hope you guys liked my joke there that I made about the Cardinals because I think, don't rule them out maybe. I don't know. I might be losing my mind. Uh, okay, let's move on. What about the San Francisco 49ers, the actual competitive teams?
Pretenders, no
Hmm.
doubt. There's too much injuries with them, and bringing in Mike Evans, there's people are saying that's moving the needle. Bringing in Debo Samuel, people are saying that's moving the needle. Those are guys who haven't played full seasons in years. Like I just there's too many injury problems. So I'm gonna say pretenders.
All right. What about the Seattle Seahawks?
Contenders, absolutely. I think it's hard to bet against reigning Super Bowl champs, reigning Offensive Player of the Years, and a formidable defense. So I'm going to say contenders for sure.
All right, and then the last team of the segment, we'll go with the juggernaut that has become the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh my gosh, Super Bowl contenders to the max. On paper, they are. I mean, they're amazing. They're an unstoppable Madden team in my eyes, especially if they add Aaron Donald to that mix. I think they're the biggest contenders we have. And yeah, I'm very excited to watch them.
Would you say it's Super Bowl or bust now for the Rams?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
You have one more good year of Matthew Stafford, and then you're done.
Wow.
And because I truly, but I'm interested in Ty Simpson. He looked very good in preseason, so I think you may have a backup plan if Stafford fails.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for all the teams in contenders or pretenders. Miles, do you think there like are, many any other sneaky teams like the Titans or potentially the Raiders, teams like that are still very young and still growing? Do you think they could make some noise at all throughout the rest of the year?
I see the Titans taking a small step in the right direction. I still don't see them being good. I still see them being a bottom team in this league. And then the Raiders, I see more as like there's going to be somebody who needs to win a game to make the playoffs, and the Raiders beat them. Like that kind of team, a
Mm-hmm.
team that has like an upset or two in the season, not a team that's gonna take the cake, especially in a very very tough division.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it. For the contenders or pretenders segment and the episode as a whole. Sorry about the weird audio that we had a couple minutes ago. I've never had that happen. We've never had that happen with a virtual episode, so hopefully that's just this time. But Miles, before we go, do you have anything to say to the fans at home?
Not really. Just next episode's episode 50.
Hey! Exciting, exciting. We're halfway to 100. Yeah, should be really exciting. Predictions for NFL might be on the way as well, so stay tuned for that. Follow the show if you want to. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Talking Sports. Again, follow so you don't miss another episode. If you want to, check out my show, Talking NASCAR. I don't mean to pull a little plug on here, Miles, but I have to. I feel like with how many times I'm plugging this show over there. But yeah, I'll have links down in the description of my show as well if you want to check it out. So have fun. School starts this week for many kids at home. It starts this week for some of us here in Wisconsin. So episodes might be a little few and far between, but hopefully we'll get to still do some consistent posting. So thank you all for listening. I'm Andrew,
And I'm Miles.
and we'll see you next time.